The 2-week pay period, invented in 1938 and still making us wait until daily pay, where everyone can access their money on demand. This is the future of pay. Learn more at dailypay.com. Transfer fee may apply.
This episode is brought to you by Fox One. Watch all 104 matches of the FIFA World Cup live in 4K for just $19.99 a month with 3 days free. Build your own multi-view, choose up to 3 streams, and follow player spotlights. Stay on top of every moment with live stats, highlights, and instant replays. The FIFA World Cup, streaming live on Fox One. Offers are subject to change. See fox.com for complete terms and conditions.
Craig McCarthy, he is the City Hall bureau chief at the New York Post. And Craig, obviously the election was Tuesday night and we're here Thursday, but the reverberations are still shaking, not to make a comparison with Venezuela, but this is still shaking throughout the city and throughout the country, isn't it?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for having me today. Yeah, I mean, listen, this shocked the political world. We have 3, very far left candidates who, got elected to the House on Tuesday night, and one of whom, unseated a longstanding incumbent in Adriano Espaillat.
Well, he was also the head of the Spanish contingency.
Yeah, he was the chair in his Hispanic caucus. I mean, he was a very powerful member. I mean, we saw Hakeem Jeffries even get into the race. He came down. He brokered a truce between Adriano and Jordan Wright, hoping to mend fences with the black community, gets the black vote out for him, but that didn't happen. And notably, Jordan Wright was the only one that was challenged by a DSA member in the city and state and federal in New York City who actually came out and won. So, kind of anecdotally, we're believing that it seems like, those votes would have split the ticket. He would have voted for, Daria Liza on the federal side and Jordan on the state side.
Judge Weinberg.
Craig, good to talk to you. See, I'm not surprised. In fact, if you look at it carefully, you can understand exactly how it happened. You have the breakdown of the old political organizations, also known as the machines. It's replaced by a new machine, which is Working Families Parties and the DSA. You have a lot of out-of-state and indeed perhaps foreign national money coming in. They target blue districts with a certain demographic, so they're not targeting swing districts. So all of that combined, it's not an impossible thing to do. And sometimes incumbents stay too long, and they take for granted the historical built-in advantages which no longer exist. The machine in the Democratic Party today is the left-wing radical socialists, not the old-time Tammany Hall clubhouse types. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I think there's 2 parts here. I mean, just taking the DSA and Working Families at this point, I mean, this could be the end of the Working Families Party. The DSA is, I mean, Manzani was elected with a coalition between the two, but if we look at it, Antonio in the New York 7 race, Antonio Reynoso, went against Claire Valdez, who won. Antonio was the Working Families nominee. That was supposed to be the coalition. They don't have the ground game anymore. They don't have the infrastructure that the DSA has now. But, separately, when it comes down to the Democratic machine or that kind of thing, I mean, listen, Adriano was they were not ready for this. Let's put it that way. They were not prepared for a far left challenge. The mayor had shook his hand, said he was going to endorse him, and he went back on that word and endorsed Daria Liza here. But I think too, if we look at take the 1,000-foot view here, is the Democrats, Hakeem Jeffries, the party leaders are looking at other things. They're looking at the big picture of trying to win the House back for them in November. They were trying to broker peace so they didn't have to face a challenge on the far left. I mean, this is Democratic infighting, and I think when we're talking to people the last few days, if Republicans could use this to capitalize to maybe kind of stave off any of the losses they'll have in November, because this is what they're going to paint the Democratic Party as you're saying, as being that far left, which is what people like Jeffries, Hochul, the moderate contingent that are trying to do. But again, they lost big time on Tuesday. So that's seemingly where the party is, at least the momentum of the party is.
Craig, this is Fernando Mateo. Thank you for being here.
Hey, Fernando.
Hi. Listen, I just believe that the dynamics of the Democratic Party is changed. I believe that the older Democrats are not paying attention anymore. I think they're fed up. I think they just simply aren't coming out to vote. And if we don't get the 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds coming out to vote, this is what's going to happen. You're going to have these young, white, crazy, socialist young people coming out. Only 10% of the people voted in these regions. 10% of the people voted, and they were the crazies. It wasn't your typical Democrat. So what is happening? The Democratic Party is crumbling. We all know that. Schumer and Hakeem, I think, are past tense. I don't think they're going anywhere. And that's what's going on in New York City. I remember growing up, never would a Democrat challenge another Democrat, an incumbent, until Ocasio-Cortez came in and crumbled Crowley, right? Then the movement started, and it hasn't stopped. And people are not coming out to vote. What do we do? Your opinion.
Well, I mean, I think just for the record, Adriano did challenge an incumbent back in 2020.
Charlie Rangel.
So that does happen. But I see your point. I think when we look at this and we take a step back, and we, a lot of this is riding on Zoran Mamdani, right? Riding on his name recognition, riding on that, and this new movement within the Democratic Party to push Free Palestine and this anti-Israel contingent, and getting people motivated to vote through basically one or two issues here, right? Like telling people to get out to vote for Free Palestine, or we want to make the city more affordable. It's very small, digestible things to get people motivated. That's right. We are not seeing the older Democratic voters coming out there, but these have always been low voter turnout races. So what they are doing is they're capitalizing on these things. This is what the DSA does throughout the city. They move people into districts, they get residency in areas where they know that they're either gentrified areas, younger populations that they can go in, and they can, and it's not a competitive district, and try to get a seat. And then that's what they're looking at here. And what the party has to do, and I'm assuming this is what they've been doing for the last day, is trying to figure out how to motivate people to come out to vote. Because even if you don't like Zoran Mamdani, John, I know you've sat with him. He's a very good politician. He's very charming.
Yes.
He's very good. He's a very good orator. Like he's a great presence. And they're all riding off of this. I mean, I would not say that about Daria Lisa. I would not say that about Claire Valdez. I would not say that about Brad Lander, which Brad Lander was going to win regardless of a Mamdani endorsement. But as he said, that they're riding off of this great politician in this of being able to convince people to get out to vote, having good ads, having good political people around him. It's kind of why I see that this cannot be replicated, at least as of now, outside of New York City. But when we have, they're riding this momentum of Zoran here, and the question that what needs to happen for the Democratic establishment is they need to find somebody like that, which they have not, and they've been told this for years now.
We're talking to Craig McCarthy. He is the bureau chief, City Hall bureau chief at the New York Post. And Craig, we should follow up for our listeners, because yesterday we were talking about, and we were asking, will people show up to this coffee shop protest in Williamsburg against this coffee shop, Poetica Coffee, that discriminated and against Dan Goldman and boasted that he was a genocide supporter, and they wouldn't serve him, a clear civil rights violation. And it does seem like there was a decent turnout there. But I have to ask you a question as someone who understands City Hall and the City Council. When we talk about these anti-Semitic things going on in the city, honestly, do people in the City Council and City Hall look at it as something that they need to fix, or are they looking at it very intriguingly and thinking, gee, if just a few thousand voters in a primary can get us a victory, maybe we can use anti-Semitism as a carrot and a stick to get people? I mean, it seems to me like some people are taking advantage of it, Craig.
Well, I think that we could talk. I mean, this has been the conversation because we don't have. I mean, people in the city. Let's start off with saying people in the city council, yes, are taking it very seriously. I mean, the speaker is is Jewish. Julie Menon, I mean, she's taking it very seriously. We have a police commissioner who is Jewish, who is taking this very seriously when it comes to actually crossing the line into crimes. But I think when we take a step back, it's the rhetoric that's coming out, and I think what the allegations are coming out of when Zoran had the rally about 2 weeks ago on a Thursday, and he referred to AIPAC as monsters, and using some of the terminology, people thinking it's a dog whistle, that mean like for anti-Semitism, that to rile up the base. And I think it's as I was saying. I mean, this is basically what these campaigns are. They've been riding on vibes and this Free Palestine movement. There's little to no policy behind these people, but Daria, Lisa, Claire, and even Brad. I mean, it's not going. I mean, if we're looking at somebody that is a partner to get stuff done, those two people are not going to get anything done in the House because they've just angered the
establishment,
likely the next Speaker of the House. Well, likely the next Speaker.
Thanks for listening to Sid and Friends in the Morning. You can hear Sid and Friends in the Morning weekday mornings at 6. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?